Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave. So this video is kind of based off a meme that I saw, and I ended up sharing it on my Twitter because I thought it was kind of a fun one. It was an interesting question, and it's one of those things where it's, people are going to first look at it and be like, oh, that's kind of not fair. Why are you comparing it? Just like when I did my video where I compared, or I asked what was a better console, the Atari 2600 and the Nintendo Entertainment System. I got a lot of, pushback on that one that, how can you compare these systems? One's older, it's not fair, yada, yada. But it did spark quite a very interesting conversation nonetheless. And surprisingly, it's not like Nintendo won overall. A lot of people thought the Atari 2600 was a great system. But that's not today's question. Today's question, and I wrote it down to make sure I don't mess it up. Which is the better game? Super Mario Brothers 1985 or Sonic the Hedgehog 1991? And of course, the comments were quite divided. And the thing is, obviously, there's going to be people saying you can't compare. It's not a fair comparison. But I kind of I disagree. The games, yeah, sure. 1985 to 1991, you got a 6-year gap, the technology changed. But we're not just talking sound and graphics here. I mean, Super Mario Brothers 1 was obviously the pack-in game for the Nintendo Entertainment System, and Sonic was also the pack-in game for the Genesis, at least the one that I got. I don't know if every single Genesis came with the Sonic game, but, the one I got had the first one. And if you compare the games, obviously, yes, one came out on an 8-bit system. The other one came out on a 16-bit system. Other than that, I mean, we're not just talking about the graphics and the sound. Sure, the graphics and sound in Sonic could be considered better. But what about the gameplay? Now, I did get a lot of people saying they love Sonic, and I got a lot of people saying they love Super Mario. Personally, my choice was Super Mario. And it's mainly because, when I first saw this game, I don't know, something about it just kind of took me by surprise on how fun and clever the game was. Having the ability to go up and down the warp zones and going up the beanstalk, all the different kinds of characters, the scrolling of the level mechanics, all that stuff just really settled with me. I thought it was a really good game. And it's still a game that I love playing today, and a lot of people do. Of course, we did get better games. We did get Super Mario Brothers 3, 2 if you really like Part 2. And, there all the other ones. We got Super Mario World, all the way up into today, we got the Nintendo Switch with Super Mario Wonder. So Mario's always been kind of a popular character regardless. Sonic, yeah, he's had his moment. He's got his cartoons. There's a lot of stuff out in. There's 2 movies out on him. I think there's going to be a 3rd movie. Mario has fair share of movies. But we're actually talking about the actual game itself. Now, some people, they like Sonic, but there was a few things about the game being, you're going too fast. It's too hard to, go as fast as you want to go and still do what you want to do. And it's very difficult at times. And the levels are just very straightforward. Some people are saying, they only like the green zone. Didn't really care too much for the rest of the levels. So there was a lot of talk like that. Level design is a big thing. It's key to any game. And, when you're playing a game like Sonic, I'm sure what they were trying to do was maximize the Genesis to show you what it can do. That was the whole point. They wanted a character that was going to be faster than Mario, that was going to be flashier. But he does lack a lot of the things that Mario could pull off. So there's, especially in the later games when Mario got more power-ups and stuff like that. But, with Sonic, it was just literally you run and jump, you collect rings. Whereas Super Mario Brothers, you were doing a lot more. You had places like secret places you can go. You had, all the different drain pipes. The various levels looked different, felt different. You got a water world where you're swimming all of a sudden, going up a beanstalk into the clouds kind of ideas. All these type of things that made the Mario game really fun. And of course, Mario has his own past. You know, he comes from Donkey Kong, when he was formerly known as Jumpman, which, you know, it evolved into the Mario Brothers games. We had the Donkey Kong Jr., but then we evolved into the Mario Brothers games, where we first see the two brothers together, and, you know, from there we jump into Super Mario Brothers, which obviously took the concept of the platform game and made it more of a scrolling game. But other than that, like, I just find Mario to be a lot more colorful, a lot more entertaining, a lot more fun. You know, Sonic, when I played it, I got my Genesis, and I thought this is pretty cool, and I started playing it. But I really didn't feel the want to continue on with the series. You know, after I completed it the first time, and I thought, okay, that was cool, I kind of didn't really want to play it too much anymore after that. I always liked playing Super Mario Brothers. Even today, I'm a sucker for this game. Just recently we were at the auto show in Toronto, and they had a retro gaming booth set up, and there was one of those NES minis, and it was set up to Super Mario Brothers, and I sat down and I started playing it. You know, I just always gravitate back to the Super Mario Brother game. And the sequels, you know, I was always on the sequels. Like when Super Mario 2 came out, I remember borrowing it from a friend and having a lot of fun, and then waiting forever for Super Mario 3 to come out. It was just like, I couldn't wait to get this game. And then Super Mario World, you know, just advancing on to the next one. But with Sonic, I know there was a lot of sequels. There was, you know, part 2, 3, and whatever. I mean, they even made this interesting Sonic Spinball, which I picked up not that long ago, and I thought it was kind of neat. You know, kind of making Sonic more like a pinball machine. I thought that was kind of clever. I mean, you know, Mario did have, you know, his hand in other games as well. I mean, he does appear in pinball, and he appears in the golf games and stuff like that. So I know Mario's like makes his presence throughout the Nintendo universe. So that's you know, interesting there. Sonic, he kind of did too. But I just never really got into it. I do have Sonic 2 somewhere, and I don't think I've played it very much. I'm not sure if I have the third one. Or actually, very many of the Sonic games, to me, they all kind of felt similar. They all felt the same to me. I don't know why. Maybe I just was more of a Nintendo fan, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I just like the Mario character a little bit more. But I always found that Mario just did a little bit more for me. And, you know, Sonic being such a, you know, it's iconic. It's an iconic SEGA character. It just didn't, I don't know. Maybe I just never gave it enough try, or spent enough time on it. But even when the movie came out, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, I really didn't feel too much wanting to watch it. In fact, I often say that if it wasn't for Jim Carrey, I might not have ever seen it. I was kind of on the fence with it. And, you know, I ended up going to see the movie, mainly because of Jim Carrey being in it. But I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was pretty cool. We went to see the second one. But when they showed the announcements for the Super Mario Brother movie, the animated one, I couldn't wait to see that movie. I knew it was going to be good. And I was surprised on how well they did it with the nostalgia and the retro feel to it, and, you know, adding those elements. But I like the characters, you know, I like Toad and Princess Toadstool, and, you know, they got the whole Mushroom Kingdom and Bowser. You know, Sonic does have his fair share of characters, you know, like Eggman and all that, but I never found Eggman to be as fun of a character as Bowser. Bowser had a lot of, you know, he was in a lot of the cartoons. He was in the first cartoon that they ever made, the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. And then there was a Super Mario Brothers 3 cartoon, which I remember getting up every morning to watch, every Saturday morning, I should say, to watch. I always loved those episodes. All the way up to the movie. I mean, obviously there was that other Super Mario Brothers live action movie, which kind of didn't do too well, in my opinion. I mean, it might have done okay at the box office. I can't remember how well it sold, but it just didn't have that Super Mario feel to me. But yeah, I mean, I just thought that this was funny. You know, seeing this meme up there, trying to ask which one's the better game. And my opinion is, I still say it would be Super Mario Bros. Even though this is an 8-bit game and this is a 16-bit game, you got the, you know, obviously flashier graphics, better music coming out of the Genesis, which I can't deny that. there's still something appealing to this very generic sound of the 8-bit sound of Super Mario's opening intro. Probably one of the most popular opening intros to any video game ever is Super Mario Bros. 1. Anyways, I think I've rambled on about this topic for a very long time. I just wanted to see what your reaction is. Leave a comment down below, or go find me on Twitter and go check the actual the feed that it's in, and see all the comments on there. It's kind of interesting how different people's opinions are, and how you know, even though you got a 6-year gap, there's some people who still love the original way more than they like something that came out 6 years after it. Anyways, let me know what you think. Throw some comments down below. Hope you subscribe. Talk to you later.